Yo, what's up? Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you get your podcast needs from. It's your boy, KaRon, KC Caddell, back again with the final mock draft for the 2022 draft class. Yes, I'm late. We're just a few hours away from the 2022 NFL mock draft. Before we get into my mock draft and how I see things going tonight, please like, share, and subscribe to Town TV. We can get all your Sports Talk with KC content, uh, Town TV content, Town Wrestling content, and also now LOL Comedy Hour as well. Um, please go like and share to all those socials for me. And with the first pick of Sports Talk with KC's final mock draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Aiden Hutchinson out of Michigan edge rusher. Um, in my opinion, is the top player in this year's draft. I know the edge rusher out of Georgia, uh, Trayvon Walker, has been a lot of steam, getting a lot of hype, a lot of love from the through the media, as well as NFL coaches and organizations as well. Recently, I know Trent Baalke, the GM for the Jaguars, compare Trayvon Walker to his former uh, draftee and player Alden Smith when he was the GM for the 49ers years ago. Um, Legal stuff aside, I can see the comparison um, to Alden Smith, big guy who could probably be your 3-4-5 technique, your 5 technique, and your 4-3 scheme. It doesn't matter. But Aiden is a leader. Was the top DN this year outside of Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama. 14 sacks. One of the top edge rushers in this year's class, any other class you would put him in, he would probably be one of the top edge rushers as well. But yeah, man, he's gonna make a difference, especially getting those single matchups that Josh Allen not getting anymore. That they kind of gonna double him. They can't double both of them, so definitely look out for Aiden next year for the Jaguars. I think I'm gonna do something a little different with my mock draft. My final mock. I think I'm gonna uh, go heavy on the defense side, especially in the defensive line. I'm going to go Trayvon Walker for the Lions. He's probably the number 1 player in people's eyes now. Now that the draft process is kind of over, combines, pro days, and stuff like that. It's over. Trayvon Walker's probably the number 1 player, but to get him at number 2 with extremely great value. Of course, a lot of people are going to call about him since the Jaguars did jump on him. So maybe the Giants want to move up and get him. They need an edge rusher to go along with Azeez Ojulari. The Falcons been looking for edge rusher since Vic Beasley had that great one year. He had Pro Bowl season. He had 10-digit sacks. Jonathan Abraham back in the day. Um, yeah, man, just looking for a pass rusher on that Falcon defense. Seattle Seahawks, they're kind of rebuilding, so they need pretty much everything. So yeah, getting a guy like Trayvon Walker can help any organization. But in this mock, the Lions get Trayvon Walker out of Georgia. I'm going to keep going on the defensive line. We're going to go with KT, as they call him, Kayvon Thibodeau, edge rusher out of Oregon, has been the top edge prospect in his class, going in every year. You know, what I'm saying, from high school on, and he's proven why. Of course, Aiden Hutchinson and Will Anderson, and now Trayvon Walker in this scenario is ahead of him now. So it should light a fire up underneath him, going third to the Texans who are rebuilding. But need anything, everything. So one thing I have noticed from the Texans when they were solid or good, whatever, running a playoff team, they always had a solid edge rusher. Like when they drafted Mario Williams number 1 out of NC State in 2006. They became pretty good. Under Matt Schaub at quarterback. The Sean Watson team, and of course, they had Javion Clowney and J.J. Watt in his prime years. So, yeah, man, getting a guy like Thibodeau would definitely help turn around that organization for the Texans. Number four, I'm going to go with the offensive line this time for the New York Jets. I'm going to go with Akeem Egwanu. Um, the Jets don't seem too sure about um, Makai Becton at the moment. Of course, he has to prove it. You know, he's had some couple injuries to hold him back and um, stop his progress being one of the best tackles in the game. Um, so, and other things go along with that. When he was in the lineup, he did, of course, have his mistakes and stuff like that. Probably a lot of rust, or of course, his rookie season. His first time in the NFL. Um, and then George Fant, guy who has had a solid career. It has gotten better. Not sure if he's just good now and probably would digress later. But getting a guy like Akeem McGuano would definitely solve the issue. And if those guys do stay good, you can always move Akeem inside to guard on the other side of Lajville Tucker, who you took in the first round last season. Um, New York Giants on the other side of New York, they're not going Derek Stingley. My computer uh, somehow being me do that. I guess I clicked it too many times. But they're going offensive line as well. They're going to go with Evan Neal to put on the other side of Andrew Thomas, 6'7", 320 plus pounds. Could play either side of the ball. I mean, either side of the line, left tackle or right tackle. It doesn't matter. Some may say that Charles Cross may be a better scheme fit, but he seems like more of a surefire left tackle than anything. I'd rather him have a guy like Nevin Nee who's more versatile. I know he is going to look work at right guard, right tackles, so maybe it is Charles Cross with his pick. So, um, number six, I have the Carolina Panthers not drafting the quarterback right here. I think they're still a year away. So getting a left tackle in to protect whoever the quarterback is next year, whether it's trading for a free agent or getting it in a great quarterback class next season, with Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud, Spencer Rattler, guys like that. Wait a minute, what the heck is going on with this? So, why that's not working, I'm going to do it from my phone. Um, yeah, I have the Carolina Panthers selecting Charles Cross at six to be left tackle of the future. Um, I'm not saying give Sam Darnold another chance or anybody else in that organization, Cam Newton, whoever it is, another chance. All I'm saying is get the line straight first, because whoever you bring in, you got to protect regardless. So, going Charles Cross right here would definitely do that. At seven, of course, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of teams want to call about Ahmad Gardner. Still here. I, at like last pick, could be a nice trade. For the trade down for the Carolina Panthers, they could go quarterback like Kenny Pickett or um, Malik Willis, but they end up going cross, like I said. At seven, Ahmad Gardner, a guy who's been called about a lot, does eventually fall to Giants at seven, which I don't say really fall. Um, Top 10 is, it's definitely um, my idea with Sauce Gardner. At eight, going to go with um, Ohio State receiver uh, Jared, Garrett Wilson. All right. At nine, uh, the Seattle Seahawks are going with Jermaine um Johnson, edge rusher out of Florida State. Um, he just a great defensive end. Has been at multiple schools, had impact. Started out at Georgia, was in that same recruiting class as the guy who we're going to see drafted today. Um, was on last chance U playing for that team, and at Florida State last season, he really caught on. Uh, at defensive end was one of the only bright spots for that Florida State defense last season. Um, oh yeah, back to the Atlanta pick. I didn't really go in depth of why I would pick Wilson for them. Uh, the Falcons just need a receiver at this point. Of course, get a quarterback for the future will be great. Now that Matt Ryan's moved on, and Marcus Mariota is kind of that bridge quarterback for now. But getting a guy like Garrett Wilson to replace Calvin Ridley and extending it of our receiver depth um, would definitely will be the great pick for Atlanta here at eight. At 10, I have the Jets taking Notre Dame safety Kyle Hamilton. Uh, Rangy safety can play in the box, over the top. It doesn't matter where you put him at. He's just a ball hawk, whether it's in the run game or the passing game. Kyle Hamilton gets it done. The Jets lost Marcus May and Jamal Adams last season. They get Kyle Hamilton to replace them. They already got Jordan Whitehead from Tampa last season. So put him on the other side and ball out. Washington, this would another pick that I think that um, Hamilton could fall to. But with this pick, I have Chris Olave going to the Washington Redskins. Um, I've heard that they've that's the number one target for them out of this receiver class, and to get him at 11 is a steal because that 4.2 9.6 wherever it was at the combine is blazing speed, and to get a guy like him, Chris route runner with that speed, um, would definitely set up Carson Wentz nicely. You have Terry McLaurin. You have Antonio Gibson at running back. So adding a guy like Chris Olave to their offense can be very explosive. Derek Stingley Jr. Falls to Minnesota at 12. Um, Lines up next to the former LSU great Patrick Peterson. I guess they're gonna fight for number seven. I guess Derek will probably have to go back to 24 uh, on that Minnesota defense. But yeah, man, Derek Stingley has been one of the best corners since he stepped on the field at LSU. Um, first season was an All American. Second season, uh, wasn't so well as COVID season. That issue as a whole wasn't that great. This past season, got hurt and decided to sit the rest of the season out. Of course, that doesn't rub people the wrong, the right way, because it's given for your team. But at the same time, I understand you have a future to think about, and so going forward, Derek Stingley here at 12 is a solid pick for Minnesota. They need some more corners. Patrick Peterson is the guy he was 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So um, definitely would love to see him and Derek Stingley um, as like a mentor mentee relationship in the secondary. Houston. Um, I got a defender, a playmaker on defense, not even a playmaker on offense, to go along with Nico Collins and Brandon Cooks, Drake London, and also possibly replacing Brandon Cooks. There's a lot of talks about him about to get traded. I know he did sign the extension, but he is one of the better players in the league, and so don't want to waste his talent on a rebuilding team. But getting a guy like Drake London and Kayvon Thibodeau, they rebuilt might last long. It might be this year a playoff fringe team. David Milstead improved. You get a nice running back um, to complement the passing game with Cooks and Collins, and now Drake London. Fix the offensive line. You got some things going for you. At 14, I have the Baltimore Ravens going Trick McDuffie, cornerback out of Washington. Um, Simple. Marcus Peters getting older. McDuffie can play slot as they, Urcher Marcus Peters out of that starting number two role at corner. Of course, you got the great Marlon Hubbard on the other side of the ball, on the other side of the defense. So uh, you pair those three guys up, you got a heck of a secondary. I know a lot of people want them to go edge rusher here, um, but Jermaine Johnson and all the other guys in the top 10 aren't here. So unless you really unless in love with George Karloftis or Boy Mafe or Ebiketie, maybe trade back and get a better value for those guys. But if that's your guy, go for him, man. Why not? But I think this wouldn't be a reach for McDuffie. I think McDuffie his ceiling is 12 in Minnesota, and he can probably fall. He doesn't fall past the Bills at 26 um, later in the first. Um, Philadelphia Eagles. They take another Alabama receiver here at 15, Jamison Williams. We're seeing his impact on this Alabama team last season. Nearly won us the national championship again, as last season with Devontae Smith and the crew. Uh, Bryce Young and Jamison Williams hit it off immediately. Um, with Jamison Williams coming in from Ohio State, uh, they had three guys last season. I don't see how they would have had time. I see why he left. Yeah, this draft is the reason why he left. He got his draft stock up, as well as the other two guys. Plus, another guy was able to be the top three receivers in the nation and be drafted tonight and next year. So yeah, man, James Williams, great move to Alabama. Now go play with some other Alabama greats and Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith. Um, Trevor Penny goes to New Orleans at 16. Of course, they have Traylon Burks on the board, but I think him and um, Michael Slantboy Thomas is too similar. Um, Olave's gone, Williams gone, Wilson's gone, of course, there's George Pickens. You probably, but he didn't have the production at Georgia. Of course, that system doesn't allow the receivers to really shine like that. But he does know he has great big playability. But getting Trevor Penny here at 16 is a steal, especially with the Chargers sitting here at 17, who need a right tackle. And so uh, put this guy, Trevor Penny, on the offensive line. Uh, put Trevor Penny on the offensive line and block for whoever play quarterback. I know a lot of people wondering who's playing quarterback next season for him, but I think it's just gonna be Jameis and whoever they draft later on in the draft. But right now at 16 is not the time for them to pick a quarterback. My 17, like I just mentioned, is the Chargers, LA Chargers. I got them drafting defensive tackle out of Georgia, uh, Jordan Davis. Um, big guy, very physical, 6'5", 340, 50 pounds, stops the run. And the Chargers are one of the worst teams at stopping the run. And so this is a no-brainer here. Um, Run a 4.88 at 350 pounds. That's insane, man. So Jordan Davis out of Georgia um, for um, for the Chargers at 17. At 18, Devin Lloyd out of Utah, sideline linebacker, goes to Philly. Um, Playmaker, man, can do it in the run game. Can get sacks. Get after. He's just a ball hawking linebacker in general. And I know he didn't have the greatest combine, but he plays fast. It doesn't matter uh, what he tested out as. He definitely plays fast and definitely knows how to find the ball. At 19, I finally have the New Orleans Saints taking a quarterback. The value is too good. Possible top 10 pick in Malik Willis. He's my favorite quarterback in uh, this year's draft. Um, this year's draft, and so uh, between him and Pickett, right here at 19 was too great value. I know we probably could have. I probably could have gone. Um Devontae Wyatt. They lost Sheldon Rankins. Maybe George Karlaftis. Um, what's that guy's name? They drafted a few years ago. Um, what is it? I got season jersey number 92. I can't remember the name. For the Saints, replacing him at at edge. Maybe Bernard Rodman. Fixing the other side of the O line. It's just a few people I could have definitely went with at 19, but Malik Willis, man, is Michael Vick. Next Michael Vick, man. From what I hear, man, him and Lamar Jackson are definitely uh, Michael Vick esque. Um, Strong arm. Some say he's not ready yet. So sit behind uh, Jameis for a year, and take over the starting job next season for him. I know I got a lot of friends out there on Facebook. Um, Probably don't like this pick. Um, Back to the draft. Kenny Pickett, 20 to Pittsburgh Steelers. Um, Great strong arm. Could run the ball very well. 21, the New England Patriots select uh, Andrew Booth Jr., cornerback to replace J.C. Jackson. Uh, Green Bay Packers select uh, Traylon Burks, wide receiver out of Arkansas, replacing Devontae Adams, who they lost in the trade to the Raiders. Um, 23, I have George Kalafdis going to the Arizona Cardinals at 23. Um, Big time pass rusher out of Purdue. Um, could replace either JJ Watt or um, Chandler Jones. They just need a pass rush in general. They also need help in the secondary, so this definitely could help ease that. Dallas at 24 goes with Tyler Smith to play on the other side of Tyron Smith. Big, strong defense, offensive tackle to run, pair protect, and run block. Um, Key Green out of Texas A&M goes to Buffalo to protect Josh Allen. Tennessee Titans select Zion Johnson out of Boston College guard. Um, Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle out of Georgia, to replace um, Adamagan Sue, who's getting older. Just to need to refresh that defense. Defense line as a whole. With some young talent. Bernard Rodman goes to the Packers at 28 um, to help protect Aaron Rodgers in one of his last few seasons there in Green Bay. Arnold Ebiketie, edge rusher out of Penn State, goes to the Chiefs to help the defensive line. George Pickens goes to Kansas City at 30 as well. Like I mentioned before earlier, big, strong, fast kid. He brings something different to the Chiefs that they don't have. Speed and size. They have MVS, of course, but he's more of just a straight up burner. Not really physical as Pickens. McCall Hardman, smaller player, very quick. Um, Travis Kelsey, of course, he's a tight end. Cincinnati goes Tyler Lindenbaum, center out of Iowa. He just brings the O line together. They've definitely made some improvements with the different moves they've made in the offseason since losing the Super Bowl to the Rams. At 32, the last pick of the draft, the Detroit Lions select Matt Corral, quarterback out of Ole Miss. It just makes sense. They need a quarterback of the future. Get that 50 option, whether to give it to him or not. The Giants didn't resign um, Daniel Jones, so look at him. So get that first round a quarterback. Pick again at 34. Go for it. But this was the final mock draft for the 2022 NFL draft class. I'm your host, KaRon, KC, Caddell. Y'all have a good day and enjoy the draft.